Excited for Thomas?
Really looking forward to it. They've just come back from Shanghai last night, so they're a bit jet-lagged. But I'm sure she will enjoy it. It's the first film she's been to, Jasmine.
Very excited for that. I mean, obviously, Thomas has been with us for almost 70 years now. What do you think the enduring magic of this little train is?
I think it's the whole collection of books. I mean, it's so long since I read them, but I mean, they really come alive, the characters as trained, so it's always going to have that appeal for children and for adults.
How important do you think it is in a world where everything seems to change that we've got something like Thomas which is consistent and is very much as we remember it when we pass it on to our kids?
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, there are other examples of that. I think Tintin's another example, that these things just seem to endure because the characters are so strong in the first place.
When you're not watching Thomas, what are you working on at the moment? Have you got any performances coming up?
Yeah, really busy at the moment. I've just got back from touring China too, and we just made an album together. My wife's also a very good cellist, so we're looking forward to that coming out end of September.
Can you tell us anything about that album, what we can expect from that?
It's called A Tale of Two Cellos, and basically we've arranged a lot of vocal duets, so there's 21 tracks on it. It's a great combination, two cellos. It's just like two voices, really, and so I think it's worked very well.
It's such a beautiful instrument. What do you think distinguishes it from, well, I guess all instruments, but particularly other string instruments?
I think the thing about the cello is the range of pure range of pitch. I mean, it can play very low and very high, and also it's definitely the closest instrument to the human voice. So two cellos together is a really good sound.
For young fans watching this who would love to be able to one day play as well as you guys, what advice would you give them if they're just starting out?
It's boring, I'm afraid. It's practice, but practice and enjoying it. And I think if you can work with other musicians at the same time, maybe learn an instrument together, that's probably more fun.
Who or what inspired you to pick up the cello to begin with?
I don't know, because there was never really a string player in the family at all. My parents were both musicians, but I just like the look of it. I like the look of it being played, really. I think it looks a very natural instrument. You can see how the notes are made and the sound produced. And so I just asked to play a cello and got on with it.
You mentioned you just come back from China. What was the experience like playing out there? How did it compare to playing over here?
It was brilliant because I toured with the BBC Orchestra and we had concerts in Beijing, Shanghai, all over the place, and very well received, very good audiences, lovely new concert halls. It's definitely a place for the future.
I mean, talking about the future, obviously there is a question about how we excite young people in particular about classical music and keep them learning instruments. How do you think we do that? What do you think the secret is to that?
The key for children is to work together at learning. I think nowadays children are not so keen to be locked away in a room and learn an instrument on their own. So I think it's great if they can learn in the context of an orchestra. That's the way to do it for me.